What is up everyone, welcome back to another video, to a new season. FPL Harry here, and if you don't know already, we've had price leaks over the past couple of days and FPL has officially launched for the new season. You can start making your teams, and today I'm going to take you through my first draft for the upcoming season of FPL. So as I mentioned in the introduction, FPL is live, everyone. You can start making your teams, and today we're going to talk you through my current draft, my first draft for this season. I've been playing around and I've come up with a draft I'm pretty happy with. As you can see above me, it does leave me with 0.5 million in the bank. It is something that I'll talk about throughout the beginning of the season, that I like having 0.5 left in the bank. It helps me be more flexible at the beginning of the season, so I am happy that I've managed to build a team with that still in the bank. If you guys do like what you see here, we've made some upgrades to the channel. Please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. But let's get straight in. We start in goal with the Leeds duo of Meslier and potentially their backup of 4.0, but any sort of backup, the cheapest goalkeeper you can get, because Meslier will play each and every week. Now, I do like what Leeds offer from a defensive point of view. They didn't perform as well last season as a lot of people predicted and a lot of people would have hoped from them. However, with reinforcements and new signings coming into their defence, I do think that there is a good chance that they see a much improved form this season. Meslier getting that price decrease down to 4.5 million, I think is a really nice option, and they have a good start to the season in terms of their fixture run as well. So he is in there. Very happy to see him down at 4.5. Others I considered: Sanchez at Brighton, Raya at Brentford, and even Pickford at Everton, but because of the fixtures, I have favoured Meslier to be my starting goalkeeper so far. Next up, we move into the defence, and it's something we've spoken about over the past sort of couple of months, and actually at the end of last season as well, is this big at the back structure that we have the ability to start playing, and how much these fullbacks can do for us in terms of value and point scoring. So we have done that with this draft. We started with Robertson, so I've had to save a little bit of money with Robertson here over Trent. I do think it's a pretty 50-50 call. The first half of last season, Trent was much better than Robertson. However, the end of last season, anyone who owned Robertson as well as Trent would have seen the amount of points that he is capable of scoring. Coming in at 0.5 cheaper, it did allow me to afford the team that I have around him, and I do think he's a really nice option. A great run of fixtures to start the season, so very happy that he's in here for me. Next up, we move to Chelsea and Ben Chilwell. It was between Chilwell and Reece James. They came in at the same price, which I was a bit surprised about. I thought Reece James would potentially be 0.5 more, but I think it's fair enough they're the same price. Chilwell was injured for a lot of last season, but before he got injured, he was a very good option indeed. I think he's got a lot of goals in him, arriving late at the back post, and has that assist potential, taking some set pieces as well. So happy with him coming in at 6 million. Again, expected them to be slightly more. Next in, we have gone with Ruben Diaz. Now, I wish I had Cancelo in here, but again, sometimes game week 1, you've just got to pick and choose your battles, and I think downgrading Cancelo to Diaz is one of the places that I'm more than happy to do that. Cancelo's attacking numbers last season weren't quite what we wanted from him. They weren't quite at the level of those Chelsea fullbacks, those Liverpool fullbacks, and I think Diaz has the potential for some goal threat as well. It could also be Laporte in there, but we have gone with Diaz because I think he's most likely to play each and every game for Man City. Now, next to him, we have new signing Perisic for Tottenham. They have a really nice start to the season. I don't have any other Tottenham players in this team. A little bit of a spoiler, but 5.5 million. I was surprised again to see a lot of these players coming in so cheap, but particularly Perisic. I think he's a great option. I think he'll really fit that Conte system. I think they've got good clean sheet potential with their opening fixtures, and the attacking threat that he brings is very good. So again, very happy for him to be the fourth sort of premium defender that we've got in there. And finally, to complete that defence, we've got Tomiyasu of Arsenal. 4.5 million for an Arsenal defender playing at right back. We know his attacking threat. We saw it last season. We know they can keep clean sheets. We saw it at parts last season as well. It seems a no-brainer. The only thing that could put you off is the slight injury doubts that we've had from Tomiyasu over the sort of last 6 months. He was coming back from injury, then he got another knock, then he came back, then he got a little one again. If he's going into the start of the season where he is picking up these slight injuries, I will have to consider moving him on. However, if he's fit for the start of the season at 4.5 million, I think he's a no-brainer. Moving into the midfield now, we start off with who else but Mo Salah coming in at 13 million. The Egyptian king, the king of FPL, the most expensive player in FPL once again. I can't really go without him at the start of the season. I think he'll be very highly owned. He makes a really nice captaincy option and they have such a great run of fixtures. We know what he's capable of doing. 200 plus points in the FPL almost every year since he's been playing the game, apart from when he was at Chelsea all those years ago. Great captaincy option, as I said, and I really like what he can offer, and I expect another big season from him. We do have his teammate in our midfield as well in Diaz. 8 million. I was surprised to see him coming in quite so cheap at that price of 8 million. It's really nice. I think he'll be filling that left wing spot now that Mane is gone. I think Jota and Nunes Diaz will go through the middle and then Diaz will go out on the left hand side. So really like that price at 8 million. Definitely a player that I would urge you guys to pick up in your first drafts. Next up, we have Pedro Neto coming in at 5 million, who I think probably, if not Diaz, Neto is the biggest bargain I think we have seen so far at the beginning of FPL. Such a nice price. He got that price decrease because he has had injuries over the past couple of seasons. However, he is capable of getting 150 plus points next season. Goal threat, on set pieces as well. I cannot believe he is priced so cheap, especially given the start to the season that Wolves have in terms of their fixtures. So very happy with him. And finally, to complete my midfield, we have an Arsenal duo in Saka and Martinelli. Now, Martinelli is in here. Potentially, if they sign another winger, I may have to get rid of him and go with someone else. However, at the end of last season and at Christmas time as well, we saw what he was capable of doing from that goal scoring and assist point of view. And he's on some set pieces as well. Only 6 million seems crazy to me if they don't sign another winger. A no-brainer in my team again. And then Saka, the sort of mainstay in that Arsenal team. He might be on penalties. It might be Martinelli. We'll see if Gabriel Jesus takes them when he comes into the side as well. But Saka is that sort of mainstay in the Arsenal team. He plays almost every week, while the other midfielders may rotate in and around him. This could go to Kulusevski if I do start with Martinelli. Maybe I don't want Martinelli and Saka, and I could go Saka to Kulusevski at the same price. But I do think that Saka will have another good season. He has big boots to fill. He needs to step up and be that real focal point, that talisman for Arsenal. I think he is capable of doing it. So that is my defence and my midfield. Just before we get into that forward line, please make sure you've liked the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. There is plenty to come in the preseason, throughout the season as well, to hopefully get you your best rank in FPL. But moving on to the most exciting part, and we have a 3-man midfield. One of them, just pick the cheapest forward you can, sort of 4.5, 5 million, those types of players that we are looking at. Undaz coming in for Brighton. I'm expecting him to start. There is a slight doubt whether he goes game week 1. However, I don't need him to play every week, as we'll see with my team selection in just a minute. He is only 5.5 million. That's a great price for him. If you can find a player who's going to finish the chances that Brighton create, they've always failed to convert on the chances that they create. And I think Undaz could be that person given his record in previous seasons. New signing, so whether he starts game week 1 is not to be 100%, but I do like what he can offer. And then finally, of course, Haaland leads the line. It's a great start to the season for Manchester City, given the price of Son and Kane as well. Kane being the same, you'd have a 50-50 call to go there, but given that he's less than Son, I was always going to go with Haaland up front. Kevin De Bruyne coming in at 12 million as well meant that Haaland was always going to be the one that I go with. Now again, Manchester City tend to take a little bit of time to embed new signings into their team, but I do expect Haaland to have a really good season and hit the ground running for the start of the season. West Ham in game week 1 for them, and I wouldn't be surprised if he scored in that. So that is my 15-man squad. But let's have a quick look at the fixtures that I'd have and how my team would actually line up if I went with this for game week 1. So this would be how I would line up for game week 1. Would be a 4-5-1 formation. We'd have Meslier in goal. We would have Robertson, Chilwell, Diaz, Perisic, a full sort of premium defence in there. Then we play 5-man midfield of Salah, Diaz, Neto, Martinelli and Saka, with Haaland leading the line. Salah probably going to be my game week 1 captain. I can't see me going anywhere else unless I potentially own Son or Kane, but they're not in this draft. Really happy with how it's looked. Again, 0.5 to spare as well with the sort of players and the pricing that we've got, which I think is so beneficial going into the start of the season. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your questions about my team. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you hate it? What would you change? Drop any questions about your drafts in the comment section down below. I'll also be doing a rate your team video shortly, so stay tuned on YouTube and on Twitter for that. Thank you very much for watching the first video back. I hope you have enjoyed. Please make sure you've liked, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back again very soon.